Thanks, Chuck. I'm going to talk about the second component of the dynamic biography. Chuck gave us a pretty comprehensive overview of the showing component, and I want to talk about the component related to growing and marketing. Although the dynamic biography can be used with any digital platform, as Chuck mentioned, it can be embedded in talent portals, emails, or within your website. The most effective use for incorporating this tool is within a social media platform. It lends itself to social media because primarily due to the bidirectional nature or in the multi-directional nature of social. Um, Social is also conducive to those important components that Chuck mentioned related to personality and likability. And it's the only platform that really duplicates real life conversations for individuals as well as conversations for groups. It is definitely it has become the new paradigm for advertising. So if you're going to deliver a message, regardless of what that message is, it's paramount that that message is delivered in a social environment or within one of the various social platforms that exist today. So, given that, what I'd like to do is provide you a little bit of an overview of the marketing landscape as it relates to some of the various methods of marketing that some of you may be currently using today. Um, we have the traditional method, which most of you may be using today, or most of you may have tried, and that's essentially television, radio, and print ads. One of the challenges with this traditional method of marketing is that it's not dynamic in the sense that the method of communication is one direction or it goes into a single direction. It doesn't allow for communication of your audience or the recipients of your message back to you. One of the other challenges with this more traditional method of offline advertising, which is often referred to, is that you're at the bequest of the publishers in terms of when your message can be delivered. For example, with television, radio, and print, you essentially have to publish your message within the publisher's timeline, so it prevents you from getting the message out when you wanted to get it out. The second form of marketing or message or communication is the digital platform. Most of you may be familiar with this in terms of SEO, search engine rankings, or trying to get your site or your digital presence to the top of Google page one. One of the challenges with SEO or organic or search engine ranking is that it can often take anywhere from 3 to 6 months for those results to produce for those efforts to produce some page one results. And page one is really where you want to have your digital message land because 98% of web traffic is actually, or search traffic, is actually searching on page one of those search results. And then there's also some limited targeting capabilities with search as well. Just because I'm searching for a keyword doesn't necessarily mean that I am looking for services or looking to retain services related to that keyword. So there are some targeting limitations that are associated with organic search. Now, on the other side of the digital platform or digital marketing is paid digital marketing. The results are much quicker. You don't have to wait for those 3 to 6 months for the SEO search engine link building process to take place. But again, you're still challenged with limited real estate. Everyone is targeting page one of the search engines, and that real estate is limited, which can make it cost prohibitive. Which leads us to sort of like the third evolution in the marketing landscape, and certainly the most advanced and sophisticated, and that's social media. For all those reasons that I just mentioned, it's extremely targeted. It has flexibility of working with various budgets, and it is extremely dynamic in the sense that it provides multi-directional methods of communication between you, the business owner and your potential client or customer or prospect. But the real advantage is within its capabilities of targeting. I mean, imagine if you're a wealth advisor or financial advisor. Social provides you the ability of, just to give you an example, I can identify individuals within a certain income bracket, that have a certain amount of net worth, that live within a certain geography, that works within certain industries with certain job titles, and we can target those individuals for messaging or marketing. So social provides an extreme level of targeting capabilities, and those targeting capabilities provide additional value to social, above and beyond it being a dynamic platform for conversational engagement. I think the true value in social is really in its ability to target down to extreme levels. So when used effectively, social should produce much more than just likes or friends. I know there are agencies or organizations out there that focus on generating and expanding your social network, but social should be used for much more than that. And its targeting capabilities truly lends itself to a revenue generating customer acquisition model. And what I want to talk about on this slide is, when developing a social strategy, revenue generation must be the end game. That is an absolute must. Each step must lead to a revenue conversion, and our game plan allows you to create a social sales funnel, which is a very different proposition than what you may hear from other social media strategists. First, what we do is we use the detailed demographic and behavioral data that I talked to on the previous slide to build a custom audience that matches your ideal customer. Then we're going to create messaging, and this is important because this really ties the grow component to the show component. When Chuck was talking about the show component and the how of the dynamic biography, the people, platform, and performance, this is where we tie that in. So we create messaging around those components. And these are key components of your online persona. These are the things that are part of that prospect action trigger. And this is our methodology to the how. So, for example, we're going to incorporate messaging related to the people component of the how. So we will include messaging or ad copy around appealing to the right demographic group that we're trying to target. Messaging around the platform, i.e., your credentials. We're going to create messaging around performance or case studies. And the beautiful thing about using social for this platform is we can create a series of messages and look at which message is performing and sort of adjust accordingly, or which message is not performing as well and adjust accordingly. Next, we're going to generate a specific call to action, whether it be an email, a phone call, or a pre-qualification form. We're going to create a platform and a process where we can manage and measure and report the specific call to actions that you're requiring from your prospects. Those prospects that did not respond to the original message, we will deploy a process called retargeting. Retargeting is essentially where we place a pixel on those individuals that come to your site but do not respond. And that's a fancy way of saying we have the ability to track them as they move throughout various places of the web, and that gives us the ability to remessage these customers, certainly impacting and driving a higher conversion rate. For those individuals that do respond, we move them into our conversion funnel where we create and send a series of automated messages over a period, automated value added messages over a period of time that move these prospects or move these individuals from prospect to actual paying client. So a very comprehensive process that we use to grow or get as many eyes on your dynamic biography as possible. So now that we've discussed the components related to growing, I want to provide you a recap and a summary of some of the deliverables you should expect. And you can see here we've categorized them into the two components of the system: the show component, which Chuck has spoke to, and the grow component, which I just covered. One thing I do want to touch on regarding, and I really want to underscore regarding the show component, is that it's important that you understand that your online persona is paramount to everything that you do. Chuck has a saying often that it's more important than what you wear when you actually walk out of the house. And in today's digital ether, everyone can see it. So it is definitely, absolutely that important. And I say that because given that we're going to provide an extremely high level of video production around this process, video and digital production around this process, the caliber of resources and the time that we're going to invest in creating the show component is going to be significant. And in regards to the grow component, likewise for the grow component, how you present yourself is just as important as to who you're presenting yourself to and how you're managing the engagement of those people that you're presenting yourself to. So two very important aspects that I just wanted to summarize and provide you sort of a visual recap in terms of the deliverables that you should expect. If you look at those 12 steps that we just reviewed on the deliverable slide, the previous slide, they all fall into these major categories or these major phases. On average, it takes our team about 130 hours annually to complete this process from end to end. And that time also includes the monthly man hours related to optimizing social traffic, making sure we have resources available for support questions and any reporting or monitoring that will certainly be expected during this process. The average marketing consultant is going to bill a project this intensive out at about 150 bucks an hour. I believe it's probably even going to come in certainly north of that. And what we did is we benchmarked the rates of some well-respected internet marketing consultants, and you can see here their rates are coming in certainly north of that. Plus, these individuals and probably a vast majority of marketing consultants won't have the area of expertise or the area of specialty all under a single roof. They may not have the social media and rainmaking strategies specifically for solo practitioners. That expertise within their organization. It's very likely they won't have the resources available to create the digital composition and integration to produce something even similar to the dynamic biography, which means they'll probably have to outsource these major components, even driving cost even significantly higher than what you see here. We've created two offerings that we feel are at a very attractive price point. Our first offering, which is the gold version of the dynamic biography, this includes a professional assessment and market analysis that will help us craft the right client attraction message that we talked about. This process is very comprehensive and uses scientific methodology that allows us to produce a highly effective professional statement and a biographical brief for your client attraction video. We're also going to create 3 additional supporting videos and collateral. The revenue building social media marketing program focused on customer acquisition, with customer acquisition and revenue as the end game, not likes or an expansion of your social network. And we're going to deliver this at a price point just under $3,000 and $300 a month. Our upgraded plan, which is the platinum version, includes everything that I've highlighted in the gold version. Plus, you'll receive 4 additional video messages or video communique to your existing contact list. We'll incorporate the credential verification process that Chuck highlighted in the showing component. And we're going to also include a Twitter campaign in addition to the Facebook campaign, essentially giving you double the rainmaking efforts without doubling your cost. So a very, very attractive offering. And we've priced this offering at just under $4,000 with a monthly recurring fee of $500 a month. So 2 very attractive offers at extremely attractive price points. What we'd like to do is throw an additional nugget out there for any of you that are interested in acting today. So though in the platinum plan, we talked about the 4 additional video messages or video communique that we will produce to have go out to your existing contact list. For any individuals that are willing to act today, we're willing to throw in an additional 4 additional communique videos. This is a very, very, very effective way of not only reaching out to your existing contact list, but having your contact list sort of engage in viral activity by sharing that information or sharing your dynamic biography to individuals within their network as well. So, if you're interested in taking advantage of this fantastic offer, feel free to contact us at the information listed on your screen here. In summary and in closing, we've created a comprehensive and competitively priced offering that provides you the ability to show yourself and significantly enhance your online persona with a dynamic multimedia tool, and it allows you to grow your practice by using it in a comprehensive social media campaign that's predicated on customer acquisition and revenue, not likes or an expansion of your social network. So at this point, I'd like to open it up to any questions around the branding beliefs that Chuck talked to earlier, or any questions around the show or grow component. Let's see here. Here's a question from looks like Sam in Texas. Sam wants to know, how does Facebook and Twitter compare against LinkedIn when it comes to social media platform? Great question, Sam. I have a lot of businesses and organizations and practitioners come to me and say, hey, look, isn't LinkedIn the preferred platform for businesses? And I think all social media platforms are useful depending on what purpose you're trying to use them for. One of the reasons why I think LinkedIn certainly has a much larger subscriber base of businesses in comparisons to Facebook. Facebook is actually larger because it just simply has a much larger audience. I think Facebook is maybe like 7 or 8 times the size of LinkedIn. But what you really want to consider when selecting a social media platform for any reason is what you want that platform to do for you. And one of the reasons why I think, and I mentioned it earlier, that Facebook and Twitter really lends itself to this process and this service is that those are the two platforms that are really suited for customer acquisition, in the sense that you can target prospects in phenomenal ways that you just simply cannot do on LinkedIn. So if you're looking to acquire customers or to acquire prospects or even to acquire a specific profile or demographic group, um, LinkedIn is really limited in the sense that it only provides you professional information regarding employment and regarding industry. Outside of that, you really don't get a lot of the demographic and behavioral data that's available on Facebook and Twitter. Great question, though. Here's a looks like Catherine in Los Angeles has a question. She says, um, "Can't I just produce my own video in YouTube or some other platform and just attach that to emails or to my website?" I mean, the simple answer to that is yes, you can. I can also paint my house, but it's certainly not going to look as nice as it would if I hired a professional painter. And that's a question that comes up. And I think what's important to understand is that the dynamic biography is not just a video. I mean, there's a video component that's incorporated and integrated with digital components related to some of the information that we're sharing. And we're also going through the process of a professional assessment and market analysis that's going to make sure we are crafting the right attraction message. And this process is very scientific, and we use a proven scientific methodology that helps us create the right message in conjunction with the highly produced video content and the digital information, the multimedia digital information that's incorporated within the visual piece of the tool. So it's much more than just a video shot of you speaking to yourself and speaking about your business. Hope that answers your question. I've got a question I like to actually throw out to the group. I'd like to know, what is the single biggest rainmaking challenge for you in your practice? Joe says, simply finding the time to do so. Um, if I'm out looking for a new business, I cannot bill for my current business. That's a great response, and that's actually the exact need that we're trying to address with the dynamic biography. It provides you the opportunity to have those 5 minute drop ins without physically being present. And more so, it provides you the opportunity to have those individuals that have had the opportunity to see your dynamic biography or experience that virtual drop in, to share that content with individuals, or to share that introduction or that referral to individuals within their network without requiring you to invest additional time and efforts into physically being there to do so. Any other questions from the group? Great. I know your time is extremely valuable, and you are certainly not billing for the amount of time that you've invested in this webinar. So we certainly appreciate you taking the time and effort. And again, we can be reached at the contact information that you see on your screen here, 866-991-4825. One of the individuals on our team will be more than happy to reach out to you, and either Chuck or myself will also be available to reach out to you to answer any questions that you may have. And again, we appreciate you taking the time, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care and have a great day.